and welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Ankita Mukherjee. The Telangana domino effect has begun. Mayawati's renewed her demand for Uttar Pradesh to be split into 4 states. The clamour for Gorkhaland and Vidarbha is growing. Political posturing or legitimate aspirations? Well, we ask tonight, are smaller states actually good for India? Well, hours after the Congress set the ball rolling for the creation of Telangana, BSP Chief Mayawati reiterating that the large state of Uttar Pradesh should be split into smaller states to facilitate better governance. So, do smaller states actually make for better governance and higher growth? And is it time to look more closely at how states can be rejigged?
The Telangana announcement has triggered the inevitable, reigniting similar demands of separate states from across the country and cutting across party lines.
उत्तर प्रदेश को भी 4 राज्यों में पुनर्गठित कर अलग पूर्वांचल, बुंदेलखंड, पश्चिमी एवं अवध राज्य बनाने की प्रक्रिया यथाशीघ्र पूरी की जानी चाहिए.
People in Vidarbha will also be having this new found confidence that yes, there could be a separate Vidarbha in future.
From Siruncha to Mumbai, it is a 1400 kilometers. We want accessible government. We wanted to see our government.
So, is all this just political posturing, or do smaller states really do better? There seem to be no clear answers. On the one hand, according to Planning Commission data, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Uttarakhand, all born in 2000, have done well for themselves, often outstripping their parent states, whether it's the gross state domestic product, industrial growth or per capita income. Yet, NSSO data released just last week put both Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh in the list of worst performers when it came to poverty levels and per capita expenditure for 2011-12. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. Many argue that separation that takes place on the premise that some regions are ignored often cannot arrest the political instability that follows.
आज मोन्टेक सिंह जी ने हमारी बैठक के बाद ही कहा कि छत्तीसगढ़ जैसा राज्य जिसे बीमारू राज्य के श्रेणी में आता था, आज जीडीपी की ग्रोथ में राष्ट्रीय औसत से हम बेहतर हैं.
What small states will do, however, is have a huge impact on our politics, because it's definitely going to promote the growth of regionalism and definitely promote the growth of regional parties, because regional sentiments are quite clearly becoming very strong. So what you're going to see is perhaps more fragmentation than we already have, and a multitude of parties coming into the Lok Sabha, which will make the formation of any government or the longevity of any government, put it under a big question mark.
In fact, the slew of demands set columnist Shobha Day off, asking for Mumbai to be a separate state. Shiv Sena spokesperson Sanjay Raut hit back, saying such demands will not be tolerated. The central government has clarified there is no other statehood demand it is taking up at the moment. Yet, voices across the political spectrum, including the NCP, have already started saying it's time to relook at reorganization of states. In New Delhi with Sandeep Phukan, Kethi Yangre for NDTV.
Well, joining us on this discussion tonight, Abid Rasool Khan, Chairman of the Andhra Pradesh Minorities Commission and member of the Congress, Sudhindra Bhadoria, member of the BSP, K.T. Rama Rao, Telangana Rashtra Samiti MLA, Gautam Reddy, who belongs to Jagan Reddy's YSR Congress, also Kumar Ketkar, Chief Editor, Dainik Divya Marathi, and Krishna Prasad, Editor-in-Chief of The Outlook, here in the Delhi studio with me. But Abid Rasool Khan, let me begin with you. The clamour for new states clearly growing. Mayawati now demanding 4 states out of the present Uttar Pradesh. Is the Congress going to carry the Telangana decision in a sense to its logical conclusion by even considering any of these other demands, or has there been an element really of a political decision based on electoral maths over there? And are you now just going to say everything else has to be seen on a case-by-case basis?
Yeah, basically, Telangana demand is about 60 years old, and it is based on major of the demand is based on underdevelopment and discrimination. So on that lines, after elaborate exercise, after wide-ranging discussions over a period of 10 years, the government has decided that it has to make Telangana into a separate state for better administration and better management. The fact, Ankita, is that any state which has to be divided or broken into small state needs to look at its natural resources, needs to look at its sustainability, needs to look at its governance. If it is going to be on these lines, then I think the states can sustain. But if it is going to be only sentiments and attachment to a particular region, then it is going to be difficult task for the state to survive and grow along with the other states. Now, as far as Congress is concerned, I think Telangana demand, Congress was of the opinion from 2004 that they will talk about Telangana, they are going to take a decision, and this discussion took a very long time, definitely, because a lot of sectors have, a lot of segments of a lot of people have to be consulted, and it's a matter of fact that in this discussion they have consulted to the zero ground level.
Was the final decision, Mr. Khan, taken with an eye on elections and the Congress's fortunes?
I am surprised because this is the suggestion that is being given by the media and some opposition parties. But even if you assume that this is a political decision, in what way the Congress is going to benefit out of this decision? Because basically Congress is governing the state, it has to go to the party, people on a plank of development and governance, not on a state, because state plank is already taken over by other parties. So I don't think that will be a consideration. I think the Delhi government and the central government has taken this decision because it was required for proper governance of that area, and it was required because there was a commitment to it and the people wanted it.
Sudhindra Bhadoria, Mayawati's demand today, in a sense, when it first came up, it was seen as a political googly when she, had that resolution, which many said was forcibly passed in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly. Now bringing it up once again, a lot of people are asking the question, at least at this point, whether demands for smaller states are about keeping regional political aspirants happy.
What Behan Mayawati ji has done is she has reiterated her earlier stand that Uttar Pradesh should be bifurcated into 4 states because Bundelkhand, which has very rich mineral resources like Jharkhand, like Chhattisgarh and some other provinces in India, is the most backward region of UP in spite of the rich mineral resources. And let us look at this historically also. Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar, who was the chairperson for the Constituent Assembly, he himself advocated for a smaller state like Vidarbha, and with many people he launched a movement over there in Vidarbha. And let me also say this, that some of the political parties and leaders who are trying to oppose this bifurcation of Uttar Pradesh, particularly parties like the Samajwadi Party, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia was the biggest advocate of the Telangana. And not only that, Jayaprakash Narayan in his book has written an article, A Case for Smaller States. Historically, we see that the Indian political leadership realized that in order to strengthen the federal system, make democracy more participative, you have to give these smaller states and people a feeling of participation. Then only will you able to tackle the problem of poverty, unemployment, and of the most important question, the question of development.